Welcome to the Little Cabin Under the Moonlight story. Tonight, you don't need to do anything at all. No planning, no thinking, no effort. Just listen and slowly relax. With every breath you take, your body becomes lighter, calmer, softer, and with every passing second, the world around you begins to fade away. Only this moment remains. Only peace remains. And now, your journey begins. You find yourself standing at the edge of a quiet forest road. The night is gentle, not dark in a scary way, but calm, like a soft blanket over the world. A cool breeze moves through the trees, brushing your skin lightly. Tall trees stand on both sides of the path, forming a natural tunnel of leaves above you. The leaves move slowly, creating a soft whispering sound, like nature is breathing. You begin to walk forward, slowly, calmly, without any rush. The ground beneath your feet is soft with moss and fallen leaves. Each step feels quieter than the last. As you walk deeper into the forest, the world behind you becomes less important. No noise, no pressure, no responsibilities, only the forest and your breathing. The deeper you go, the quieter everything becomes. Even your thoughts start to slow down. It feels like the forest is gently taking away all tension from your mind. You notice the wind moving more slowly now, almost like time itself is relaxing. Small glowing insects float between the trees, like tiny stars that forgot to stay in the sky. They move gently, without direction, without hurry. You watch them for a moment and feel even calmer. Your shoulders relax. Your breathing slows down. Everything feels softer. After walking for what feels like a long, peaceful time, you notice something ahead, a faint, warm light between the trees. It is not bright, not sharp, just soft, golden, steady. You move closer, step by step, and soon you see it clearly. A small wooden cabin, sitting alone in the middle of the forest. Its windows glow warmly, as if someone inside is waiting peacefully. A thin trail of smoke rises from the chimney and disappears into the night sky. The cabin feels calm, safe, familiar, as if it belongs to a memory you forgot long ago. And somehow, it feels like it has been waiting for you. You stand in front of the cabin for a moment. The forest around you is completely silent now. Even the wind feels softer here. The warm light from the cabin window spills onto the ground, touching the forest floor gently. You feel no fear, no hesitation, only calm curiosity. You step closer. Each step feels natural, like you were always meant to arrive here. The wooden door is slightly open. A soft glow comes from inside, inviting, not forcing. You take a slow breath and step inside. The door closes gently behind you. Inside, the cabin is warm and quiet. A fireplace burns softly in the corner, its flames moving slowly like they are breathing. The light fills the room with a golden, peaceful glow. There is a comfortable chair near the fire. A soft blanket rests over it as if it was prepared just for you. You sit down, and immediately you feel your entire body relax. The warmth spreads through your chest, your arms, your mind. Outside, the forest continues its silent existence. Inside, everything feels still. Time feels slower here, as if the world has paused just to let you rest. You sit quietly in front of the fireplace. The soft crackling sound of wood fills the room. Your breathing becomes slower, deeper, calmer, and for a moment, nothing else matters. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, only this moment of peace. And as your thoughts begin to fade, you drift, gently, deeper into the story. After the fireplace silence, the cabin remains warm and still around you. The fireplace continues to burn softly, its light flickering gently across the wooden walls. You sit quietly for a moment longer, not thinking, not analyzing, just being here. Your body feels heavier now, in a peaceful way, as if every muscle is slowly letting go of tension. Outside, the forest is silent. Inside, everything feels safe. Time does not feel important here. Only calmness remains. After a while, a gentle curiosity begins to appear in your mind. Not a strong thought, just a soft feeling, like something in the forest is quietly calling you. You stand up slowly from the chair. The warmth of the fire stays with you as you move. You walk toward the door. It opens easily without sound. You step outside into the night forest again. The air feels cooler now, but still peaceful, still gentle. The cabin behind you glows softly, like a small safe island in the darkness. You turn around for a moment and look at it. And then, something catches your attention. Behind the cabin, where you didn't notice before, there is a narrow path. It was not visible earlier, but now it seems to exist clearly under the moonlight. The path is covered in soft moss.
Tiny glowing lights float just above the ground, slowly moving like they are guiding you. The trees around this path feel older, calmer, more silent. You step closer, and for a moment, you simply stand there, listening to the silence. Then, gently, you begin to walk. Each step you take feels softer than the last. The forest changes as you move forward. The sound of wind becomes quieter. Even your thoughts begin to slow down more and more. It feels like the world is letting you go deeper into peace. On both sides of the path, flowers begin to bloom. They glow faintly in colors of blue, white, and soft gold. Not bright, not overwhelming, just enough to make the path feel alive and safe. You continue walking without effort. No need to think where you are going. The path itself feels like it knows. As you walk deeper into the forest, a new sound appears. Soft, flowing water. Slow, gentle, constant. You follow the sound, and soon the trees begin to open slightly. A small stream appears beside the path. The water moves over smooth stones, creating a relaxing rhythm. You stop for a moment and watch it. The sound is calming your mind even more. Your breathing slows naturally. Your shoulders relax even further. Everything feels balanced here, like nature is quietly helping you rest. The deeper you go, the more peaceful the forest becomes. The trees are taller now. They're not frightening. They feel protective, like they are watching over you gently. The glowing lights in the air increase slightly, floating around you like slow-moving fireflies. The path becomes clearer, smoother, more inviting, and something inside you begins to shift. Your thoughts are no longer sharp. They are soft now, like clouds drifting in the sky. You feel more present than before, more calm, more open, more relaxed. After walking for a long time, the forest begins to change again. The trees slowly spread apart. The air feels lighter. And ahead, there is a soft glow that is different from the cabin light. You do not know what it is yet, but it feels peaceful, inviting. Like the beginning of a dream you are about to enter. You continue walking slowly toward it, and the world becomes quieter with every step. The glow ahead grows slightly brighter now. The forest around you becomes almost completely silent. Even your thoughts feel far away, like they are floating instead of staying inside your mind. You take one slow breath and continue forward, not knowing what comes next, only feeling that it will be peaceful. AP Proching, VHE, Yuang Now Late. You continue walking forward along the soft forest path. The deeper you go, the quieter everything becomes. The trees no longer feel dense or heavy. Instead, they feel open, calm, and watching gently. The soft glow ahead slowly becomes clearer. It is not bright like sunlight. It is gentle, like moonlight resting on water. You do not feel rushed to reach it. You simply walk, step by step, deeper into peace. With each breath, your mind becomes quieter. With each step, your thoughts become softer. Slowly, the trees begin to spread apart. The path becomes wider. And then, suddenly, the forest opens into something new. A hidden garden. You pause for a moment at the edge of it. The air feels different here. Lighter, warmer, almost dreamlike. Flowers bloom everywhere in soft colors. White, blue, soft purple, gentle gold. Nothing is overwhelming. Everything is balanced, calm, peaceful. You step forward slowly, whacking Through's The garden. As you enter the garden, the ground beneath your feet feels softer, like walking on a gentle memory. The flowers seem to glow slightly under the moonlight, not in a magical way that demands attention, but in a quiet way that makes you feel safe. A soft breeze moves through the garden, and every flower sways slowly in response. You walk deeper inside, without thinking, without hurrying, just moving, peacefully, through stillness. The Fontaine of calm. In the center of the garden, you see something beautiful. A stone fountain. Water flows gently from it, steady and slow. The sound is incredibly calming. You walk closer and sit near it. The water reflects the moonlight above, creating soft ripples of light. As you watch it, your breathing naturally slows down. Inhale, slowly. Exhale, even slower. Your thoughts begin to fade into the background, like distant echoes disappearing into silence. Everything feels balanced here. Everything feels safe. Time feels different. Sitting near the fountain, something strange happens. Time feels different. Not gone, just softer. Like it is no longer important. You are not thinking about where you need to go next. You are not thinking about anything at all. Only this moment exists. The gentle sound of water, the soft glow of flowers, the cool night air around you. Everything slows down, even your thoughts. And your body feels heavier in the most peaceful way. 8HEOLD, bench and book. Near the fountain, you notice a wooden bench. It looks old, but cared for, as if it has been waiting for someone to sit there. On the bench, there is a book. A simple book with a soft cover. You sit down and gently open it. Inside are pages filled with simple words. Stories about forests. Stories about peace. Stories about nights when the world slows down and people finally rest. As you read, your eyelids feel heavy. Not tired, just deeply relaxed. The words seem to move slowly in your mind, like soft waves, heat jarred, guarding becomes cuter. As you sit there reading, the garden becomes even more silent. The wind slows down. The flowers barely move. Even the sound of the fountain feels softer now. It feels like the entire world is slowing down with you. You no longer feel separate from the place. You feel part of it. Like the garden and your thoughts are blending together into calmness. You take one slow breath, and everything inside you relaxes even more. Transition towards something deeper. After a while, you gently close the book. You look around the garden one more time and notice something new. Behind the fountain, there is another path, even softer than the one before. It leads away from the garden into deeper silence. You do not feel curiosity like before. You feel calm acceptance, as if whatever comes next will also be peaceful. You stand up slowly and begin walking again. Deeper dream into it. The garden slowly fades behind you. The flowers, the fountain, the soft light, all remain calm as you leave. Ahead, the path continues into a quieter part of the forest. The air becomes even softer, even lighter, and your thoughts become almost silent now, like drifting into the edge of sleep while still walking forward. You take one final slow breath and continue the journey into deeper peace, leaving the garden behind. You slowly walk away from the hidden garden. The soft glow of flowers begins to fade behind you, not disappearing, but gently resting in the distance. The sound of the fountain becomes quieter with each step you take, until it feels like a memory instead of a sound. The path ahead is smooth and silent. The forest around you is deeper now, but not dark in a frightening way. It feels more like the world is settling down, becoming slower, becoming softer. Each step you take feels lighter, as if gravity itself is relaxing. The chiefs sift in the chief first. The trees begin to change again. They are taller now, and spaced farther apart, allowing soft moonlight to fall between them like silver threads. The air becomes cooler, calmer, almost weightless. You notice that even your breathing is slowed without effort. Inhale, slow, exhale, slower. Thoughts no longer feel sharp or fast. They feel distant, like floating clouds you are no longer holding on to. The forest is guiding you now, not with force, but with silence. First, H-E-L-A. After walking for what feels like a long, peaceful time, the trees begin to open again. A faint reflection of light appears ahead. Soft, wide, still. You continue forward slowly, and then you see a vast lake stretching endlessly in front of you. The water is perfectly still, like glass. It reflects the sky so clearly that it feels like the world is doubled. Stars above, stars below, all resting in silence. The H-E-L-A-O-F Forgotten Dreams. You stand at the edge of the lake for a moment. There is no wind here, no sound except the faintest whisper of stillness. The lake feels ancient, but peaceful, like it has seen every dream that has ever been forgotten, and gently kept them safe. You sit down near the water. The ground is soft, cool, comforting. As you look at the lake, something strange happens. Your thoughts begin to slow even more. Not because you are trying, but because the place itself encourages it. Everything feels lighter. VHE floating lights. Slowly, tiny glowing lights begin to rise from the surface of the lake. One by one, softly, gently, they float upward into the night sky. Each light feels like a memory, or a dream, or a feeling from long ago. Rising, releasing, disappearing into the stars. You watch them quietly, without needing to understand them. Just watching, just breathing, just being. And as you watch, your mind becomes even quieter, almost empty, but peaceful. The HEAP peering boat. Near the edge of the lake, you notice something slowly forming. A small wooden boat. It is simple, old, calm. As if it has been waiting for this exact moment, you step closer. There are no ropes, no chains, no sound, just silence. You gently step into the boat, and as soon as you sit down, it begins to move. The HE slough, Jarny across silence. The boat moves without effort. No paddles, no direction. Just the lake carrying you forward slowly. The water remains perfectly still beneath you, yet you move smoothly across it. It feels like you are floating inside a dream. The world around you becomes even quieter. Even your thoughts feel like they are fading into distance. There is nothing to do, nothing to hold. Only this gentle movement forward. Deep relaxation drop. As the boat continues its slow journey, something changes inside you. Your awareness begins to soften. Your body feels heavier in the most peaceful way. Your breathing becomes extremely slow, almost like sleep is approaching naturally, not forced, just arriving. The lake, the sky, the stars. Everything feels far away and close at the same time, like reality itself is becoming soft, and you are simply floating within it, deep transition. The boat continues moving quietly across the lake. The floating lights fade into the distance behind you. Ahead, only stillness remains, and a deeper sense of peace begins to settle in. You are no longer thinking about where you are going, only feeling the calm of the journey itself. And slowly, everything becomes quieter, as if the world itself is preparing you for sleep. Leaving the garden be hand, you hand, be hand. You slowly walk away from the hidden garden. The soft glow of flowers begins to fade behind you, not disappearing, but gently resting in the distance. The sound of the fountain becomes quieter with each step you take, until it feels like a memory instead of a sound. The path ahead is smooth and silent. The forest around you is deeper now, but not dark in a frightening way. It feels more like the world is settling down, becoming slower, becoming softer. Each step you take feels lighter, as if gravity itself is relaxing. VHE forced, N V8 forced. The trees begin to change again. They are taller now, but spaced farther apart, allowing soft moonlight to fall between them like silver threads. The air becomes cooler, calmer, almost weightless. You notice that even your breathing has slowed without effort. Inhale, slow. Exhale, slower. Thoughts no longer feel sharp or fast. They feel distant, like floating clouds you are no longer holding on to. The forest is guiding you now, not with force, but with silence. First Cyan OF VHE Lake. After walking for what feels like a long, peaceful time, the trees begin to open again. A faint reflection of light appears ahead. Soft, wide, still. You continue forward slowly, and then you see it. A vast lake stretching endlessly in front of you. The water is perfectly still, like glass. It reflects the sky so clearly that it feels like the world has doubled. Stars above, stars below, all resting in silence. VHE Lake OF Forgotten Dreams. You stand at the edge of the lake for a moment. There is no wind here, no sound except the faintest whisper of stillness. The lake feels ancient but peaceful, like it has seen every dream that has ever been forgotten, and gently kept them safe. You sit down near the water. The ground is soft, cool, comforting. As you look at the lake, something strange happens. Your thoughts begin to slow even more. Not because you are trying, but because the place itself encourages it. Everything feels lighter. The HE floating lighthouse. Slowly, tiny glowing lights begin to rise from the surface of the lake. One by one, softly, gently, they float upward into the night sky. Each light feels like a memory, or a dream, or a feeling from long ago. Rising, releasing, disappearing into the stars. You watch them quietly, without needing to understand them. Just watching, just breathing, just being. And as you watch, your mind becomes even quieter, almost empty, but peaceful. Day AP peering boat. Near the edge of the lake, you notice something slowly forming, a small wooden boat. It is simple, old, calm, as if it has been waiting for this exact moment. You step closer. There are no ropes, no chains, no sound, just silence. You gently step into the boat, and as soon as you sit down, it begins to move. VHE slow journey across silence. The boat moves without effort. No paddles, no direction. Just the lake carrying you forward slowly. The water remains perfectly still beneath you, yet you move smoothly across it. It feels like you are floating inside a dream. The world around you becomes even quieter. Even your thoughts feel like they are fading into distance. There is nothing to do, nothing to hold. Only this gentle movement forward. Deep relaxation drop. As the boat continues its slow journey, something changes inside you. Your awareness begins to soften. Your body feels heavier in the most peaceful way. Your breathing becomes extremely slow now. Almost like sleep is approaching naturally, not forced, just arriving. The lake, the sky, the stars, everything feels far away and close at the same time. Like reality itself is becoming soft, and you are simply floating within it, deep transition. The boat continues moving quietly across the lake. The floating lights fade into the distance behind you. Ahead, only stillness remains, and a deeper sense of peace begins to settle in. You are no longer thinking about where you are going, only feeling the calm of the journey itself. And slowly, everything becomes quieter, as if the world itself is preparing you for sleep. The BO slowly turns back. The boat continues moving gently across the lake of forgotten dreams. Everything around you is silent. The water remains perfectly still, yet the boat glides as if guided by something unseen. There is no need to think about direction, no need to wonder where you are going. The journey itself feels enough. Peaceful, soft, endless. Slowly, without sound, the boat begins to turn back. Not suddenly, not sharply, just a gentle change, like a slow breath in the night. Leaving VHE Lake Behind. As the boat moves toward the shore, the glowing reflections of the stars begin to stretch behind you. The floating lights you saw earlier are now far away, rising into the sky one by one. Each one feels like a thought or a memory, softly released. The lake becomes quieter the farther you go. Not because sound changes, but because your mind becomes quieter. Everything feels distant now, light, calm, weightless. And as the boat gently reaches the shore, you step out without effort. They key forest reverence. The forest is waiting for you again. The same soft path appears naturally under your feet. The trees are still, protective, silent. You begin walking back slowly. Each step feels familiar now, like you have always been here. The air is slightly warmer as you move closer to the cabin area. The forest no longer feels unknown. It feels like home. Passing VHE Garden again. As you walk, you pass the hidden garden once more. The flowers are still glowing softly. The fountain still flows gently. But everything feels quieter than before, as if even the garden is resting now. You do not stop this time. You simply walk past it, calmly, peacefully, without thought. Your mind is lighter now than when you first arrived here. Much lighter, almost floating. Cabin AP appears again. Ahead, between the trees, you see it again. A small wooden cabin. Warm light glowing through the windows. A soft presence in the middle of the forest night. You walk toward it slowly, step by step, until you reach the door. It opens easily, as if it recognizes you. Returning inside safety. You step inside the cabin once more. The warmth welcomes you immediately. The fireplace is still burning softly, just as before. The gentle crackling sound fills the silence like a slow heartbeat. You You sit down near the fire, and everything inside you begins to relax even deeper than before. Your shoulders soften. Your breathing slows. Your thoughts begin to fade. Outside the cabin, the forest continues its silent watch. Inside, only peace exists. Final stillness. The firelight moves slowly across the wooden walls. Shadows are soft, never sharp, never disturbing. You feel completely safe here, completely calm. There's nothing left to explore, nothing left to search for. Only this moment remains, and this moment is enough. Your body feels heavier now in the most comforting way, as if the world itself is gently holding you still. Sleep, Prohinge. Your eyelids begin to feel heavier. Not forced, not sudden, just natural. Like sleep is arriving slowly as a friend. Your breathing becomes soft, steady, slow. In and out, in and out. Thoughts no longer form clearly. They dissolve before they can stay. Everything feels distant now, warm, safe, quiet. The fireplace continues to glow softly. The forest outside continues its silent night. But inside the cabin, everything is still. Everything is calm. Everything is peaceful. And now, you no longer need to follow the story. You no longer need to listen carefully. You can simply drift deeper, softer, into sleep. Let go of every thought. Let go of every sound. And allow yourself to rest completely. The H-He world becomes Q-ire, than Q-I. The cabin is still warm. The fire is still softly glowing. But something has changed now. Everything feels even quieter than before. Not because anything disappeared, but because your awareness has become softer, lighter, slower. The sound of the fire is no longer just sound. It feels like distance, like a memory of warmth rather than a physical presence. And you simply sit there, resting, without effort. Deeper relax. You do not need to hold on to any thoughts now. If thoughts appear, they do not stay. They drift away gently, like mist dissolving in morning light. Your breathing continues slowly, naturally, in and out, in and out. Each breath feels softer than the last. Your body feels heavier, but in a safe way, a comforting way. As if the cabin itself is holding you gently in place, protecting you, keeping you still, allowing you to rest fully. Distant, forced silence. Outside the cabin, the forest is still there. The trees are still standing. The night is still present. The lake still exists far away. But all of it feels distant now, like another world. A world you no longer need to explore. Only peace remains close to you now. Only warmth remains near you now. Everything else is gently moved away. Time loosens. Time no longer feels important. Minutes do not matter. Hours do not matter. There is only now. Only this soft moment. The fire continues its slow movement. Shadows continue their gentle dance on the wooden walls. And your mind continues to soften, more and more, until even thinking feels unnecessary. You are not trying to sleep. You are simply allowing sleep to come closer. Final body relaxation. Your forehead relaxes. Your jaw becomes loose. Your shoulders drop fully. Your hands rest without tension. Your legs feel heavy and calm. Every part of your body is now resting. Fully, deeply, naturally. There is nothing left to adjust. Nothing left to fix. Everything is already enough. Everything is already peaceful. Sleep takes over gently. Sleep does not arrive suddenly. It arrives slowly, like a soft wave. First, your thoughts become unclear. Then they become distant. Then they become silent. Your awareness begins to drift, not away, but inward, into comfort, into stillness, into rest. The fire is still glowing, but even that feels far away now, like it belongs to another layer of reality. Dream bridge. You are no longer fully awake, and not yet fully asleep. You are in between, in a quiet bridge between thoughts and dreams. Everything feels soft. Everything feels slow. There's nothing pulling you anywhere. Only drifting, only floating, only resting. Full sleep indolently. And now, you let go completely of awareness, of sound, of story, of everything. There is only silence left, only comfort, only sleep. The cabin remains in the background. The forest remains in the background. The moon remains in the background. You no longer need to notice them. You are already asleep. After sleep has beckoned. You are already asleep now, or perhaps only partially aware of being asleep. Everything feels distant, soft, weightless. The cabin still exists somewhere behind your awareness, but it no longer demands attention. There is no need to follow the story anymore. No need to listen. No need to think. Only rest remains. Deeper into silence. The silence becomes deeper now. Not external silence, but internal silence. The kind that happens when thoughts stop forming completely. Even emotions feel far away, like echoes from another time. Your breathing continues slowly on its own. In and out. In and out. Each breath softer than the one before. Nothing is required of you now. Nothing is expected. You are simply resting. VHE cabin beacon is a memory. The cabin is still there in the distance of your mind, but it no longer feels like a place you are inside. It feels like a memory of safety. A warm idea, fading gently into comfort. The fire inside the cabin no longer burns brightly in your awareness. Instead, it feels like a soft impression of warmth, like something you once felt and still trust. And that is enough. Floating between dreams. You are no longer fully in one place. There is no clear boundary between thoughts and dreams now. Everything is blended into softness. You drift. Not forward, not backward, just gently existing in a calm space. There is no direction here, only floating, only drifting, only stillness. VHE Elast Remening Taj TS. Sometimes a thought appears, but it does not stay. It dissolves before it becomes anything real, like mist touching sunlight and disappearing. There is no effort in letting go. Letting go is natural now, like breathing without noticing it, like resting without trying. Everything softens. Even awareness itself becomes softer. Sounds no longer feel separate. Silence no longer feels empty. Everything blends into one peaceful sensation. A sensation of being safe, of being held, of being allowed to rest deeply. Nothing pulls you anywhere anymore. Nothing interrupts this calm. FRA way, forest dream. Somewhere in the distance, there is still a forest. There is still a lake. There is still a cabin. But all of them now feel like layers of a dream that is fading. They are not gone. They are simply no longer needed. And you are okay with that. Because what remains is enough. Endless rest need. There is no final moment, no ending you need to reach. Only continuation of calm. Only continuation of silence. Only continuation of sleep. You are deeply relaxed now, beyond thinking, beyond noticing, beyond effort. And everything is still. Everything is safe. Everything is peaceful, and you continue resting, gently, endlessly, peacefully. Good night. No begging, no end. There is no longer a clear story now. No beginning that matters. No ending that needs to happen. Everything is softened into something quieter than words. Even the idea of listening begins to fade. You are simply here, or somewhere near here, resting. Taj tus tiut shape. Thoughts still try to appear sometimes, but they are no longer sharp or formed. They arrive like soft shadows and dissolve before becoming anything real. There is no effort in this disappearance. It happens naturally, gently, like mist fading into open sky. Nothing needs to be held anymore. Not memory, not story, not direction. The HE cabin is no longer a place. The cabin, the forest, the lake. They no longer feel like locations. They feel like feelings, like warmth, like safety, like distance that feels comfortable. The firelight is no longer seen, but remembered as softness. The forest is no longer walked through, but felt as calm silence. Everything becomes symbolic now. Everything becomes gentle, deeper dissolutine. Awareness itself begins to thin, not disappearing, just becoming lighter. Like a surface of water slowly becoming stiller and stiller. There is no resistance anywhere, no attempt to understand, no need to continue, only drifting, deeper than drifting, into something unspoken. Even time feels irrelevant now, bit lean and variable. You are not fully asleep and not fully awake. You are in the space between both, where nothing needs definition, where everything simply exists without effort. Breathing continues, but it does not feel separate from rest. Silence continues, but it does not feel empty. Everything is balanced in softness, final soft resting. If any thought begins to form, it gently resets into silence. If any memory tries to return, it fades before becoming clear. There is nothing to follow now, nothing to continue. Only a loop of calm stillness, endlessly gentle, endlessly soft. Even you becomes less defined, just a feeling of comfort, floating quietly. The HE world FERA way. Somewhere far away, the forest still exists, the cabin still stands. The lake still reflects stars, but all of it is now distant beyond importance, like a story that is finished being needed. And now only peace remains close. Only silence remains close. Only rest remains close. Complete fade into silence. There is nothing left to guide you. Nothing left to follow. No words remain that need attention. No direction remains that matters. Only stillness. Only softness. Only deep calm. And slowly, everything fades further, until even the idea of fading disappears. And what remains is simply rest. Peaceful. Endless. Quiet. Good night.